Welcome to the Music Journal podcast, where we talk about the hottest things happening in music right now, and also how you can apply it if you're an aspiring producer or musician yourself. I'm your host, Wes Yee. I'm a producer, artist, and educator, and I'm stoked to be chatting with you. Let's make history. Welcome to another episode of the Music Journal. Today's guest, Via CJ, is not only an extremely smart person for his age, but just an extremely smart person in general, and also for his age. But he's not only an incredible artist, but an expert digital marketer, and I kind of just think he's the perfect model for how a young entrepreneur should be. He's accomplished so much already. We actually met through a mutual friend whose name I probably won't say because I'm going to have him on this show eventually as well. But CJ's done some marketing for him, and he just does really great work. So CJ, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me, man. I appreciate it. Dude,
you're the man. If you want to just quickly give a little synopsis, tell the listeners a little bit about who you are and what you do, that'd be dope.
For sure, man. I definitely do a lot of things, so it can get hard to label it at times, but I'm just going to go itemized on this one. So I'll usually do normally a recording artist. You know, I'm dropping songs consistently, whether it's like every month. Sometimes it'll be like quicker. Sometimes I'll have gaps between. It is what it is, but I do music. You know, I edit full time. Like I edit regular posts and a bunch of ads for a bunch of companies. You know, working in a digital marketing agency and having ownership in that is amazing. And that just comes down to like me wanting to have an interest in business growing up. You know, I'd always tell my mom like, hey, I'm going to do business and I'm going to give you like a mansion. So like, I'm like, well, let me just stay true to my young self. And I don't know, just it's a very spiritual thing. Like I'm super spiritual. I meditate, man. And I don't know, man, I do a lot of creative things. I love to be creative, and digital is just what I do, but I love to take it back sometimes and, you know, stay creative and also have that business aspect to everything that I do. And yeah, man, it's really fun. I'm out here, and YouTube is cool. I do YouTube. Super long synopsis, but don't want to be long-winded, but having fun, man. Overall, just having fun.
No, you're totally good, dude. Feel free to ramble as long as you want to, by the way. But one of the things that I think you and I really have in common is that business mindset. And I think it's one of the things that's really so amazing about what you do and kind of sets you apart from a lot of different people. I actually didn't know that as a kid you were really into business and wanted to buy your mom a mansion and all that good stuff. Would you consider yourself more, I guess, like an artist who does marketing or a marketer that makes music, or is it kind of just 50-50 down the middle?
That's actually a question I ask myself all the time.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah, man. I'm like, am I a marketer who raps, or am I a rapper who just markets like digitally?
Now it's going on the books though, so
you know. But it's super hard to like pick which one it is. But if I had to say, I'm an artist at heart who is super passionate and respects the ropes of business. Very detail oriented when it comes to like, I really respect class and all these things. I'm very like very non-artsy in that sense. Like I really love, like, for example, like I like to dress sharp sometimes, like to the office. Like you see me, I really don't look like a rapper. You know, I really don't look like a rapper, and I really respect the aesthetic of business. And I look at the aesthetic of everything, and I just feel super comfortable in both of those lanes. Like I love to go to the studio and I love to perform. I've done it twice, but I love to perform too. But I also love to just hit a meeting and just, you know, talk about target marketing and stuff like that. So it's hard. I'm trying to think. There was, I'll let you go ahead. If I think of what I was going to add to that, I'll go ahead and chime in.
Yeah. Well, I actually would go as far as to say that marketing is an art form just as much as music is. I don't think the two aren't synonymous, if you know what I mean. And I also think that your story, just everything you say makes so much sense, because if you look at all the greats, which is what I think any aspiring artist or marketer should do, you know, Gary Vaynerchuk, same deal. When he was a kid, he had that entrepreneurial spirit and was selling like baseball cards or whatever, I think. And then same thing with fashion. You know, fashion's also definitely an art. I don't think there's any doubt about that. So if you like to dress sharp, you know, you're being an artist. You're putting on something that kind of adds to your aesthetic and kind of makes you who you are. And it's a way to express yourself the same way getting in the studio and making a dope song is. So
Yeah,
I think
man.
you're just
Don't get me wrong. I only dress up sharp for like those certain days. Like the rest of the days, catch me in some basketball shorts, like out there, like
nah, you're
enjoying
sleeping in
that
a
sun,
tux,
man.
dude. You wake up in a suit.
You know what I'm saying? But even at the office, we have this super cool office culture thing. It's called 55 and 5. So we work for 55 minutes, and then the other 5 minutes on the hour, we actually get a good walk and stretch and some dips and whatnot in. And it's like, it's a
Interesting.
culture thing. Yeah.
Wow.
So 'cause it can get really, really like stagnant at a desk.
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. I think that's really smart because what do most people do? Most businesses are like, okay, you work from 9 to what, like 11:30 or 12, then you take a lunch break. I think it makes a lot more sense to do 55 minutes and then take a 5-minute break.
Yeah, man. And then on that 5 minutes, it's like correspondence, strategy talk, like just the ins and outs, the little things. And then during the rest of the hour, it's like super focused work, you know?
Do you follow Tim Ferriss at all? Do you know who that is?
I love his concept of the 4-hour work week and the notifications off, distraction list work.
Yeah,
I love that.
Absolutely. He talks about taking just kind of the same thing you were talking about, but on a bigger scale and a longer scale. He talks about taking mini retirements. So instead of, working whatever 50 out of your 52 weeks a year for like 60 years or whatever, he says instead work for a year, take like a year or like a 6-month retirement, and then go back to work or however long you decide to do it. But the point is, instead of just waiting for your like week-long vacation or ultimately waiting for your ultimate retirement when you have your 401k taken out and everything when you're 55 and a half or whatever, he's saying that it's healthier to just take mini retirements in smaller doses, kind of the same way you guys take smaller breaks but more frequently. I think it makes a lot more sense.
That's super creative. And anybody who can master something like that and still make traction is like a beast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's super, super deep because, immediately my mind, I like to shoot holes in things off nature of like being a human. So it's like, when you hear a new concept, like the inner part of you, it's like eat the meat, spit out the bones. Like eat the meat is like the new concepts that you're soaking in from things, and then spit out the bones is like if your brain can't process something or becomes cynical towards a concept, it's like you always look past those things, and I always look at things for the bright side. But immediately I'm like, well, the first question I'd have is like, I love the concept and I want to do it, but the first question I have is like, how do you not lose traction in that mini retirement? Like, you know what I mean?
That's a good question.
It seems like especially if it's a hardcore retirement and you're not staying in your craft, it seems like you might get out innovated. Like you have to be really strategic and a ninja about that whole thing.
I love to use the word ninja, by the way.
Me too.
I guess if I were to do it, and so I guess if we really broke it down, because that's kind of the way you do it, right? You have a big goal and you break it down into smaller chunks, and that's how you accomplish the big goal, by turning it into a series of smaller goals. I mean, man, I love what I do, but I definitely get fatigued, so it's, I think the way it would work is, I guess when I'm ready to eventually take a mini retirement, which I'm not, because right now I'm kind of on my up and on my grind and everything. But you would, I guess, ideally just take it when you feel like it. Like right now, when I feel fatigued and I'm working all the time, which I do, I just push through it and I keep working because I see the end goal in mind and in sight. But once I kind of hit a couple more targets and reach a couple more goals, I would imagine you just kind of do it whenever you want, and it doesn't really necessarily mean you have to just stop making music if that's your craft,
like a hard stop.
But it's the music thing, man. It's not all just making music, as I'm sure it's a lot of work, and you got to reach out to people and reach out to playlisters and bloggers and all that kind of stuff. So you'd really be just retiring from the aspect of it that isn't as fun as the actual creating itself. Is how I would do it, at least. I don't know. What are your 2 cents on that?
It's like what I pulled from that is there's a creative stage, and then there's a distribution phase, and strategically placing rest in between those things are super important. And I think even just talking about it, bringing that up, kind of brought new light to it, and I'll definitely walk away with some usable concepts out of it. I'm definitely gonna apply that more.
Yeah. Definitely.
Because when you budget your rest, like when you budget out your rest, you're going to feel so good about it, I bet. Like, I mean, I've done it. Like I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I do rest like at times where I probably shouldn't be resting, and I should probably push through a little more. And everybody has their flaws, so that's one thing about me. Um, but with that being said, it's like when you have the budgeted allotted rest, it feels so much better on my end. Like I don't stress like, oh, I should be working right now. Like a rest should feel like a rest.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I agree 100%, man. And you mentioned meditation earlier. That's something I didn't even know we had that in common, but I do that every single morning without fail before I even get out of bed or check my phone or anything. So that's kind of a break too. I mean, it's really just the exact same concept. You're taking a rest from everything that you have to do later on in that day. But I was wondering, do you have a crazy story from just being an artist or being a marketer?
Oh, crazy story. Okay. Crazy story number one. Okay, I'll tell you about how I got into it. This is super crazy.
Yeah, hit it.
So I was doing the baseball thing in high school. Like I was like, all right, I'm gonna either go up north to Massachusetts. Like this is me like knowing marketing a little bit, but not really doing it professionally, right? Mm-hmm. So I just grew up the athlete and dabbling with like graphics and Photoshop and all that, whatever. So graduated high school. I'm like, all right, do I go up north or do I go with my girlfriend down south and like try to go to college or whatever? Left college, like ended up going to Florida after graduating high school, did college for a semester, dropped that. And I'm like, all right, what am I going to do? Worked at Home Depot doing the freaking surveys, right? Surveys at Home Depot. And I'm like, all right, top surveyor in the state or whatever. Dropped it because I just couldn't take it. I'm like, all right, I'm getting denied all day. People are recognizing me. Dude, I went to the freaking, and this is like a form of marketing, guerrilla in-person marketing. Like weirdly enough, it's like, that's how I learned my people skills and sales type stuff. So go to get a haircut. I'm brand new to Florida. I'm like, all right, I'm getting a haircut today. First time finding a barber down here. And the barber goes, yo, you tried to interview me. You tried to get like a interview, like sales thing like from me at Home Depot. Like, what was wrong with you? Like,
oh, that's crazy.
I was getting recognized in like a random state that I didn't know. I'm like, yo, so if I'm getting recognized off Home Depot, bro, I could damn well, sorry if I swear, but I can damn well make music and get recognized for it. Like if I strategically like run it, like let's go. Like I'm getting recognized off Home Depot. Like what could I do off music and turn that into a lifestyle and
that's
and
wild.
Do that. So yeah, man. And this isn't like one of those crazy stories like where it all happened in one day, but I'm kind of taking a broad thing and putting it into one story. And yeah, so anyway, I found Craigslist. I'm like, all right, I need a job because I left Home Depot. I see something that says creative professional wanted. I'm like, whoa. So I'm like, this is everything I've ever wanted to do. So ramped up on my Facebook ads and everything, like went so much harder. Showed up, ran digital marketing tactics. Like I wrote a blog on the interview day, like showed up. They're like, all right, you take the interview. Freestyled on the job interview because they said I'm a creative. So like, what do you do? Like,
wow, no shit.
Like,
you can swear, by the way.
Okay, yeah, my bad.
No,
dude, I'm gonna juice it up. Put the Alfredo in the pasta. But man, I was like fucking freestyling and like I was like, hey, just like spit something, and it was so bad. I was like, dude, that was the worst freestyle ever. And he's like, man, I love your energy. I love your marketing like energy as well, and we can really build on what you have to the table. So brought me in. Meanwhile, the whole thing is just off Craigslist, and then it turned into this, and now I am here. Like marketing, and it turned into like, okay, we started off with very small clients. Like, okay, we're going to a little food truck offering them free videos in hopes that we get in for $70 a month on a contract, right? Like on some week, like, yeah, we're gonna manage everything for $70 a month. Are you kidding me? Like, there's $80,000 deals that go down in the same industry. Like we were not like, and now I'm just talking about business. Like I'm switching over, like made the switch to the dark side, but music and business are so synonymous. So this could help. We went from doing like small deals to just like keeping consistent. And now it's like, we're closing like 50K deals and 60K deals.
Wow.
And we're going to meetings and I'm explaining target marketing and digital and creativity at like a meeting where there's like 150K on the table. And it's like, wow, it's like just being here, whether we get those things or not, is like, I'm actually playing ball on a field where there's other really amazing players. And I'm so young, man. I'm 19. I mean, I just turned 20, but May 14th I turned 20. But
Happy
I'm super
birthday.
young. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, man. It's just been a very, very interesting experience. Like I've been what got me here, I'm not gonna lie, is tasting. Like tasting things got me here, and I found that I love digital and music, and my job at the office complements my music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not one of those artists who wants to be like, oh, I just want to blow up and quit my job. Like that's really not my goal here. It's very not typical because that creative dream, it's like blow up and quit your job, So I don't want to do that because I love both things. And that's where it comes back to that question that you asked me earlier, Wes, where it's like 50-50. It's like, I don't know. Some days I'm 90-10, but other days I'm the other way 90-10. And it's like, I don't know, man. I'm just fluctuating. I very much believe in fluctuations. And like, you look at the ocean and that's your answer to like most things in life. You see the way the ocean comes up and goes down. And like the sun, the moon, and that's my answer to most things in life. It's like, man, everything just comes and goes. So like, just being present is my main objective.
Absolutely, dude. I kind of regret asking that question now because you're totally right, and I'm totally with you that it should fluctuate. Whether you want to be an artist or you want to be a marketer, it never has to be just one set percentage. I think what I got most from that whole story, it's a dope story, by the way.
Thanks,
is that I think just being yourself is really the key to success, man. Like, you talk about how you were at Home Depot and doing that, you were getting recognized. Bro, I was in Staples the other day and this guy, I don't want to like talk shit about him or whatever, but he was like this robotic like cashier guy and he was like, sign up for our newsletter or whatever. And I usually don't do it, but as a marketer, I like to see what other businesses are doing marketing wise. So I'll sign up for email lists knowing that I could just unsubscribe. And I was like, sure, like whatever, I'll sign up for your fucking email list or whatever. So I did it. He probably got his commission or whatever. So I was able to help him out, I guess, in that regard. Saw some of their emails, got bored, unsubscribed. It was all good. But the point is, if I saw that guy again, like if I was fucking a barber and was cutting his hair, dude, there's no way I would ever recognize him. And I think the reason why you were getting recognized so often doing that is because you have a personality that really shines through. And, you get into this interview with these marketers and you freestyle rap because that's who you are. And so many people would be in that situation and just hide the fact that they're a rapper and that's really what they love to do, or be afraid of bombing. And you did it anyways and you were afraid, but you said fuck it and look where it got you. So I think that's fucking amazing, dude.
It's a beautiful thing. Thank you, man.
Yeah, dude. In addition to just kind of being your natural self and just kind of letting your personality shine through, what else would you, I guess, recommend an independent artist do to try to get in the spotlight? Because you have hundreds of thousands of plays on Spotify, so you obviously know what you're doing.
Yeah, man. I suggest that artists should really how can I say this? I'm trying to say dive deep, but I was like, do I say dig deep or dive deep?
Either
I think artists should definitely dig and dive deep, man. Dig and dive deep into the way other artists came up and pull what you want to pull from it, and then eat the meat, spit out the bones, man. Like there's certain things, like I don't want to be stuck on tour for the rest of my life. I think the main thing artists should do, and we as artists should do, is define our end goal, man. Define our exit strategy, bro. Like whether it's a 40-year exit strategy, 50-year exit strategy, like 30-year exit strategy, like just get committed and say, okay, what do I want to pull out of, like, what do I want, like long term? And that'll help all of us guide our micro decisions, Yeah. And sometimes we don't know what we want, and that's okay too. But it's also very important to say, okay, I don't know, but I'm on a journey to define. And I'm on a journey to define because I'm so young. I'm 20. And, I can't say I have everything defined, but I definitely have that thought process going. So as a young artist, creative, entrepreneurial-minded person, I think it's super important for all of us to start defining our end goal and, talk about what we really want. Like, do I want to work 18 hours a day? Do I want to work 12 hours a day? Do I want to make, $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year? Do I want to be traveling a lot, or do I want to be there for my family one day? Like, I think it's super important to like start defining what that looks like and then making strides to get that way. Because, for example, if you're a single dude out there, there's no woman in your life, whatever, and you're just out here on the road, yeah, you might want to have 3 world tours and tour Germany 6 times in 6 months. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if you're like a family man out here, okay, now you may want to work that streaming aspect of things a lot more and get a lot more ramped up on digital. Digital is important everywhere, but just, does that make sense?
Dude, that makes total sense. And I agree 100%. I think just the mindset component that we have, we share so much in common, man. I think that it's always changing. And I think for somebody who doesn't know what they want to do right now, I think it's not really true, because you wake up some days knowing what you want to do. Some days I wake up and I'm like, I don't want to be a fucking podcaster. I don't want to be a fucking artist today. But I know ultimately I do. But, it's not every day that I wake up amped up and like motivation level like 10 or whatever. And just kind of the same thing with the relationships. I was in one not super long ago, but not super recently either. But I feel like every time I'm in a relationship, I'm like, damn, I wish I was single. And then every time I'm single, I'm like, damn, I kind of miss being in a relationship. So, just human nature is that you want what you can't have. And I think a big part of it is just kind of being okay with that, and just kind of being okay with whatever the world hands you, and just being cool with everything. You know what I mean?
Dude, yeah, because at the end of the day, and now I'm going to get super like really metaphysical and weird on everybody, but what is time at the end of the day besides a unit of measurement? It's a unit of measurement that we have to keep things going. We age, and it's like super important to grind and taste things. And yeah, man, I'm just saying, like, it's just a continuous now. It's just a continuous now. And I'm a firm believer in now here's another thing. I'm big on personal development, and as an artist, I really want to be able to not have my art and my business stuff outgrow my personal identity. I want to be able to, I always say, like, I'm not even Canadian. No, I'm just playing. I love, my girlfriend's Canadian. I love Canadians. But yeah, man, I just feel super inclined to develop myself personally more than I'll ever feel inclined to like make money.
Well, I think what you said about time makes total sense, because at the end of the day, you only have so much of it, right? So why not spend it trying to just get as good as you possibly can? I'm on the exact same boat.
Yeah.
It may be a social construct, but I mean, regardless of the fact that we put numbers to it that we kind of invented, it still goes on, and things still happen, and that's all time is. So I'm totally with you on the personal development thing, man. 100%.
Yeah.
Hey,
I think it's awesome, man.
What's something about you that people wouldn't guess just by looking at you?
I'm half Puerto Rican.
Oh, really? What's the other half?
Swedish and German.
Oh, no shit. Okay, so you're three things.
Yeah, Puerto Rican, Swedish, and German. People say I look like Young Lean, and I was like, who's Young Lean? So I looked up Young Lean, and I'm a fan, Young Lean. What up?
Hey, and you got a Canadian girlfriend, too.
She's French-Canadian, but yeah.
Same thing, still from Canada. Yeah. And you live in the States, so you just kind of hit every single landmark right there.
Yeah, she's not from Canada. She's from the same hometown or not hometown, but I moved to Meriden when I was like 14, 15. But she's from the same like high school area as me and everything. So you know what I'm saying. We have a great and dude, I'm not gonna lie, having a girlfriend it makes things interesting being creative, and it makes things not necessarily harder, but you gotta kind of be a ninja about everything, man, especially time.
Well, I've written more songs about exes and shit, not to be like a fucking Taylor Swift or whatever, but I've written a lot of songs about like fucking exes and shit. So I definitely find it sometimes easier to make music as a single man than I did as a not single man.
Well, yeah, man, I totally don't not see that. Like, I totally see why, man.
How long you been with your girl for?
We're just over 3 years now.
Oh, wow. Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Good for you guys.
Appreciate it, man. We went through distance, and that's what brought me to Florida. And then I came down to Florida, and I was like, oh, Studio 18, I'm going to check out what that is. I think I can make a song and make it poppin'. Just a random studio I looked up in Orlando off, like, SEO, right? And I get a tour, and the guy who gives me my first ever tour of my first ever studio ever was Kyle Lemaire, Circa, over from Entrepreneur. Shout out
word.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yeah, and ever since then, I found out Joey Badass was in that studio like a couple months before I found the studio or something, and I was like, "Yo, I gotta go here." But one more crazy story that I can, just to kind of recap. You know what I'm saying?
Shoot.
This is super cool. I was in New York City with me, my parents, my girlfriend, just roaming around, and I was like, man, I feel so inspired here. Just looking around, New York City was so inspiring to me. Just walking around Times Square at night, Christmas time. And I was like, man, let's go to Best Buy because I love tech and everything, and I'm inspired. It's a huge Best Buy in Times Square. I'm like, run it, like,
Hey.
walk in, and I'm like, fuck, man, where's the mics? Where's the mics? I find the Blue Yeti microphone. I'm like, yo, there's one left. I'm like, Mom, please get this. And she's like, it's your Christmas gift. I got you, honey. Like, my mom was so there for me my whole life. She's still alive, obviously. I made it sound like she died. She didn't die.
I didn't take it that way at all.
Okay. No, man. She works like 7 days a week sometimes. But anyway, she motivates me beyond belief. And we were in New York City, and I was like, all right, I got the mic. And I had the mic. I looked up into like the night sky super on some dramatic shit. And I was like, this is gonna make me rich. USB Blue Yeti, man. I'm like, oh
Fuck
my
yeah,
god. I get home, and every time my parents would leave the house or whatever, I would grab my mom's little jewelry box. I'm 16 years old. Grab her jewelry box that like is a tall thing that stands in her room. Drag it over into my closet. Set up laptop and mic like right next to each other. You could hear the laptop fan. Next to some clothes and some towels. Like, I just like separated my clothes in my closet off the hangers, made a gap, and just used that as the stew.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
And it was so funny, man. And I did it, and I had these like songs that I would mix and master myself off like this YouTube tutorial. I'd use the same mix and master technique on every single song. And everybody in school was like, yo, that's trash. like, what is that? Like, and I'm like, yo, what? Like, I thought it was fire. Like, and but some people are like, yo, you should re-record some of this shit like in a studio, like in a controlled environment. I'm like, whatever. So you never know, maybe that'll come for the Via people listening. You never know.
That's like the most relatable thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm sure there's a lot of people listening to this right now who are probably in their fucking closets right now about to record the next fucking SoundCloud hit, dude. So I think that's incredible, dude. You said that you got a lot of hate from kids from your high school, which I think is totally natural. Like, I wasn't really making a lot of hip hop and like commercial pop music when I was in high school. I was kind of more in I'm just sounding like a total nerd, but I don't give a fuck. I was more in like the jazz scene at that point, and just kind of getting my feet wet in the production world. But I remember there were fucking kids who were trying to make like the next SoundCloud hit. I think SoundCloud was a thing when I was in high school. I'm a little older than you, but they were putting music on YouTube and stuff like that, and it was really bad. I mean, you're in high school. It's not really expected that you're going to be good. But high school kids are fucking pricks, man. So we would just rip this kid apart, like these poor kids. How'd you kind of overcome the hate and just keep going? Was it the few people who told you to keep going and record in a studio and just get better quality stuff, or did you I'll
put some context into it. I'll put some hilarious context in it. So I'm a baseball player, right? I'm like on varsity, playing baseball, and I'm a junior in high school, and there was like a little rap scene, and there was like a rival high school. There was like 2,000 kids in my school and like 2,000 at the other high school across town. And there was like a little rap scene, and like people were like taking it seriously. Like Meriden was like, yo, there's like a little Meriden rap scene. Like, it was hilarious. And I ended up getting dissed in a track.
Wow, no way.
Like somebody comes up to me like, yo, you just got dissed in this track, bro. Like, I'm like in the middle of human anatomy class. I'm like, yo, I'm like listening to like the crosstown disser. Like, I'm like, yo, he's like, they're like really going in, and it was so funny. And like they dissed like 8 people from my side, and like our side came back with like a huge track. You could have swore it was like Big Sean and like fucking Jay Electronica and Kendrick coming at like that. Like, it was hilarious. Like
the high school edition.
So real. Yeah, it was so funny, man. And Anyway, long story short, moving forward, I'm in the batter's box at a baseball game, and you hear the fans like yelling out like the song names, like intermission, intermission, like it was so funny because I roasted them back. I clapped back in my own track, and I just like destroyed them.
Hey, dude, that's awesome.
People were just yelling about it and shit.
So you got motivated by the hate, dude. They dissed you, so you had to go back and make another song as opposed to just kind of cowering and being like, okay, like I don't know if this is for me. I love that you just kind of came back and did what you do, and you still do it to this day.
I want to listen to that track, man.
I wonder if those kids are still doing it. What do you think?
I'm not gonna lie. I went back and stalked a couple of them. A couple of them are just dropping singles and just very below average, like internet stuff, you know.
Okay. So you kind of got that
average in the most humble way possible.
Yeah. Well, you kind of got the leg up now, huh?
I guess so, man. But energy-wise, super grateful to just walk in the light every day, man. I thank God when I wake up. You know, before my feet hit the ground is my goal. So I'm just trying to stay in that positive mindset. I want to attract that from the world, you know?
Yeah, 100%, man. I'd love to keep talking to you, man, but that's kind of about our time. But I think that's also a really good thing to kind of end with. What do you think?
One thing I'll say to end is whoever's out there listening to this in hopes of gathering something for their music career, I just want to share with you that my ROI, although money and streams are dope and they help people live, my real ROI is the messages that I get. I just read one right now. It says, "Hey, Via CJ, I've been listening to your music for about 7 months now. I think you're good. You inspired me to become a rapper myself. Last night I hit 100 followers. Thank you for your hard work, Marley." And I just want to end on that, man. That's my real ROI. That and the "you helped me save my life" messages are the true ROI in my aspect. So, Wes, I really appreciate you, man. Thanks for everything, man. I appreciate it. This was a fun thing. First ever podcast ever.
Really? Oh, fuck yeah, dude. There is actually just one more question I wanted to ask. I totally forgot, but I ask it on every show. So maybe I'll edit that, or maybe I'll just leave it. I don't really fucking care.
Yeah, that's right.
If you had unlimited money, no strings attached, what would you do and why?
Ooh, heavy question. Okay, if I had unlimited money, no strings attached, okay, I would go ahead and create like a awesome like community for me and all my loved ones, almost like on some tribe shit, like an awesome community where it's like super safe and like we're super like well equipped and everything, and dude, we just vibe out. We just like chill, like drink coconuts, like stay healthy, like play like baseball, like basketball, little pickup games, have fun, like just be with loved ones, bro. Like, and just create music, have a studio on deck whenever, like just have all that, have access to creativity. And yeah, man, I'm a simple dude. Like, I just want to chill in a hammock and like, okay, now I want to go record. Okay, now I want to go sit with my mom. Now I want to go eat. Like, I just want to relax, man, and be thankful for the blessings that we already have, man. Look at the trees, look at the water, look at the sky. It's all working, and like, dude, this is it. We're literally living it, and no amount of Grammys or accomplishments can change that, you know. Where like it's not going to change. Like, we're always going to want more. We're always going to want more and more and more. So I just want to be content and present.
All right, guys. Well, you heard it here first. CJ is going to use his blue microphone to buy Hawaii for him and his loved ones and get a hammock with a mansion for his mom. And it's going to be fucking incredible. CJ, if you want to let the listeners know where they can find you, let them know.
You guys can check me out on Spotify. If you look up Via CJ, Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, all those places that you listen to music. And then if you want to see vlogs and stuff, I'm on YouTube and Instagram at Via CJ. And Facebook is Via CJ Music, all one word. I appreciate you guys. And Wes, you the bomb, man. Thank you.
Hey, brother. Thanks for being on here. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Music Journal. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you got a lot out of it. If you want to know more about me and what I do, I just put out a personal EP on Spotify. You can go to bit.ly/Wes Yee Spotify. And if you want to know more about music production, I teach an online course about it too. Just shoot an email to wes@homestudiohits.com and I'll send you an application. Just for filling out the application, I'll send you a free sample pack of sounds I use to make the instrumental you're listening to and more. All these links will be available in the show notes, so you can check them out there. And while you're there, if you feel inclined to rate this show 5 stars, that would really help me out. Other than that, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Thanks again. Peace.